Tonight, the breaking news, the severe storms moving in, at least one dead, swept away in Austin, drivers sheltering in place. The storms then moving up the East Coast. The dangerous and deadly storms on the move, hail, damaging winds, and flash flooding. Trees snapped in two, drivers sheltering under the roof of a gas station. The system then shifting east, heavy rain coming to Washington, D.C., right up through New York City. The images coming in at this hour, and Lee Goldberg standing by to time this out. Also breaking tonight, the whiplash over President Trump's tariffs. A three-judge panel ruling the emergency declared by the president, quote, exceeds any tariff authority delegated to the president. Then late today, an appeals court saying the tariffs can move forward for now. And tonight, Elon Musk now says his official role with the White House is over. The brutal attack on TSA agents, the newly released video showing the man punching multiple agents at a TSA checkpoint. What led to this? Tonight, Harvard on graduation day winning a temporary reprieve in its battle with President Trump, a judge allowing them to enroll foreign students. But tonight, the State Department announcing it will, quote, aggressively revoke visas of some Chinese students, and why they're doing this. The shark sightings on the East Coast, the attack, and then the alarming video, the fin of a 20-foot shark amid the boaters in the Northeast. Several sightings even before the official start of summer. Tonight, actors and comedians Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence and their big reveal. Their kids secretly got married. Also tonight, the actor who brought one of the most terrifying characters to life is being remembered tonight. Also, two major airlines combining what it means for your points. And Beyonce with one very dramatic gender reveal.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here at a very busy Thursday night. We begin tonight with these deadly storms on the move right now from Texas to the southeast. Then these storms move right up the East Coast. At least one person dead tonight, swept away in the floods, and drivers sheltering under a roof. Time-lapse video tonight of a massive supercell thunderstorm rolling across Oklahoma's panhandle right there. Austin, Texas, slammed with high winds and hail. Trees pulled right up from their roots. Drivers racing to shelter under the roof of this gas station, and some roads suddenly turned to rivers. Multiple water rescues being reported again tonight, at least one person dead. Lee Goldberg standing by with the forecast. These storms from the south moving right into the northeast. But ABC's Mireya Villarreal leading us off with the images coming in already tonight.
Tonight, powerful storms targeting central Texas with the threat of high winds and more hail after scenes like this in Austin overnight. Golf ball-sized hail and torrential rain. Winds gusting over 80 miles an hour, snapping trees. Mary Escamilla shot this video from her front porch. Raging waters in North Austin, at least one person reportedly swept away and killed. Cars sheltering under a gas station canopy in Cedar Park. The roof of this gas station on the north side of Austin collapsing onto cars below. No one was hurt. The thunderstorms sweeping across the southern plains. This massive supercell looking like a spaceship hovering over western Oklahoma.
And David, it's not over. There is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for central Texas and parts of New Mexico. Hail, high winds and tornadoes, all a possibility throughout the night. David?
Mireya watching it all for us. Thank you. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Lee Goldberg of our New York station WABC timing out these storms as we move into the evening. Hi, Lee.
Hey, David. Storms taking aim at West Texas again tonight. A destructive storm southwest of Lubbock right now. 60-mile-per-hour winds, even some baseball-sized hail. The watch from southeastern New Mexico into Texas until 11 o'clock tonight. There's another area of severe weather, and that's along the Florida coast into Georgia and South Carolina from Jacksonville to Charleston. Some big winds and maybe a brief tornado. The storms move to the East Coast tomorrow from the Florida Panhandle all the way up into Virginia. Could be a rough evening commute with some downpours to D.C. and Pittsburgh, and then it's a soaking rain up to New York City as we go into tomorrow night. Could be 1 to 2 inches here of rain as we go into Saturday. Severe storms in the afternoon. David?
Lee Goldberg back with us here tonight. Lee, thanks as always. We turn now to the tariff whiplash tonight. A three-judge panel ruling that the emergency declared by President Trump to impose those sweeping tariffs, quote, exceeds any tariff authority delegated to the president. One of those judges appointed by the president himself. Then late today, an appeals court saying the tariffs can move forward, at least for now. Companies have already warned they will raise prices, and small business owners alarmed by all of this uncertainty. Rachel Scott at the White House.
Tonight, tariff whiplash. After a federal court blocked most of President Trump's sweeping tariffs, saying he does not have the authority to do this, tonight an appeals court just ruling President Trump's tariffs can continue, at least for now. The tariffs have led to stock market swings, small business uncertainty, and now prices going up. Retailers suggesting they're paying the price. Walmart, Macy's, Ford, among those signaling there will be some price hikes because U.S. companies pay for these tariffs. Tonight, the White House fighting that federal court ruling that called the tariffs unlawful. President Trump had bypassed Congress, declaring a national emergency to impose the tariffs, something that's never been done before. That three-judge panel includes judges appointed by Presidents Reagan, Obama, and Trump himself. And they ruled that President Trump, using a national emergency declaration, exceeds any tariff authority delegated to the president. And then yet another federal judge ruling today the president does not have the power to, quote, unilaterally impose tariffs to reorder the global economy. So I asked the White House today, do they have another route to do this?
Is the administration actively reviewing other avenues, other options to carry out the president's trade policy?
The president's trade policy will continue. We will comply with the court orders, but yes, the president has other legal authorities where he can implement tariffs.
But then late today, after both of those rulings, yet a third ruling. An appeals court saying the president can keep going with some of those tariffs for now, as the appeals process plays out. On Wall Street, the market rallying before opening when investors thought some tariffs would be blocked. Some investors have begun saying about Trump and his tariffs that Trump always chickens out, taco for short. The president not happy when asked about that.
Mr. President, Wall Street analysts have coined a new term called the taco trade. They're saying Trump always chickens out on your tariff threats, and that's why markets are higher this week. What's your response to that?
I kick out?
Chicken out.
Oh, isn't that nice? Chicken out. I've never heard that. 6 months ago, this country was stone cold dead. We had a dead country. We had a country people didn't think it was going to survive, and you ask a nasty question like that. It's called negotiation.
And tonight, Elon Musk is done as a special government employee. The news coming after Musk broke with the president on his budget bill. Musk concerned about the level of spending that some estimate could add $3.8 trillion over the next 10 years to the deficit. Overnight thanking the president for the opportunity to reduce wasteful spending.
And David, we're told that senior officials here at the White House were disappointed by comments from Elon Musk saying that he was disappointed in the president's spending bill, that it would increase the deficit and undermine the work of DOJ. The White House insists that Musk did leave on good terms. I'm told that he will continue to serve as an unofficial advisor to the president, even possibly attending meetings here at the White House in the future, David.
Rachel Scott at the White House again tonight. Thanks, Rachel. We turn next year to a brutal attack on TSA agents at Miami International Airport. Tonight, hear the newly released video showing a man punching multiple agents at a checkpoint. Authorities say the man had assaulted crew members on an international flight the night before and had forced that flight to divert to Miami. Then the horrific scene at that checkpoint. Here's Victor Oquendo from Florida.
Tonight, the man seen here throwing wild punches at officers at a Miami TSA checkpoint is facing multiple years behind bars. It was December 28th, during the height of holiday travel. The night before, 28-year-old Cameron McDougal, a Canadian citizen, allegedly assaulted someone on a Copa Airlines flight from Panama City, Panama to Toronto, that flight diverting to Miami. Authorities say he was taken off that flight, but not arrested and allowed to book on another airline.
He was allowed to land, was not arrested, but the question is, did police tell any of the U.S. airlines that this guy had been violent on the previous flight?
He was back at Miami International Airport the next day. Watch as he passes through security and hides behind a wall. Several people pass him before he's seen punching a man walking by. Security tries to intervene. Then he storms back to the TSA checkpoint where security cameras catch him throwing several punches at TSA officers until he's knocked down over a luggage cart and pinned down until law enforcement arrives.
McDougal has pleaded guilty in federal court to assaulting TSA officers. He's set to be sentenced tomorrow. David?
Victor Oquendo from Miami tonight. Victor, thank you. Tonight there is a manhunt now underway after a traffic stop turned violent in Columbus, Ohio. A car pulled over. Authorities say a passenger then running away, turning back and firing, striking two officers. Here's our Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas now.
Tonight, an urgent manhunt underway after this routine traffic stop in Ohio suddenly turned violent, ending in gunfire. Watch the police body-worn camera as the officers in Columbus, Ohio approach the vehicle just before 7 p.m. Wednesday, when the passenger jumps out and takes off. There's a chase, then that passenger opens fire, hitting both officers.
Shot fired. Officer down, officer down. I'm hit.
The other officer diving for cover. Police also releasing this surveillance video showing the passenger turn and fire. That passenger identified as 21-year-old Devontae Dixon. He's now facing charges of attempted murder and felony assault. Police calling on the public for help.
If you're listening and you know where this person is, please pick up the phone and give us a call.
Authorities say the driver was taken into custody, was cooperative, and later released. And David, some good news. Both officers are now in stable condition after one was initially listed as critical.
Pierre Thomas live in Washington. Pierre, thank you. Now to Harvard tonight, and on this graduation day, the university winning a temporary reprieve in its battle with President Trump. A judge now allowing Harvard to enroll foreign students. The State Department, meanwhile, announcing it will, quote, aggressively revoke visas of some Chinese students. Tonight, hear why they're doing this, and ABC's Selena Wang from Cambridge, Massachusetts tonight.
Harvard celebrating graduation with a legal victory in its battle with the Trump administration after a federal judge temporarily blocked the president's ban on international students.
Welcome.
Today, a standing ovation for the school's president, Alan Garber, who's become the face of the resistance.
Members of the class of 2025 from down the street, across the country, and around the world. Around the world, just as it should be.
The Trump administration accuses Harvard of failing to confront anti-Semitic harassment and claims the school has coordinated with the Chinese Communist Party. Allegations Harvard denies. But tonight, a dramatic new escalation that could impact universities across the country. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announcing the U.S. will work to aggressively revoke visas of Chinese students, including those with connections to the Chinese Communist Party or studying in critical fields. Former ambassador to China Nicholas Burns, now a Harvard professor, telling us there's already a rigorous vetting process.
Those who are a security risk should not have a visa, but that probably excludes the vast majority of the applicants and the vast majority of the 277,000 Chinese students in the United States.
For Harvard students like Funzo Zhang from China, the last week has been a roller coaster.
That definitely sparked a new round of panic mode. It's definitely a lot of devastation, frustration, disappointment, anger, and uncertainty going on campus right now.
But David, as for that warning to Chinese students, it's unclear how many could be targeted. And for Harvard, this legal battle continues to play out in the courts with billions of dollars in federal funding frozen. A hearing on that is scheduled for July. David?
Selena Wang in Cambridge, Massachusetts tonight. Selena, thank you. From Washington, there is news coming in tonight. The Justice Department revealing an IT specialist with the Defense Intelligence Agency has been arrested and charged with attempting to provide classified information to a friendly foreign government. The FBI says it began investigating the 28-year-old in March after receiving a tip. According to authorities, the tipster said the staffer's views did not, quote, agree or align with the values of this administration. The FBI says the suspect is alleged to have given classified information to an undercover agent. We turn now to several alarming shark encounters along the East Coast just as the summer holiday season begins. A suspected shark attack off of North Carolina. And tonight, hear the video in the Northeast. A 20-foot shark amid boaters right off Rhode Island. Here's Morgan Norwood.
Tonight, with summer right around the corner, a string of shark scares on the East Coast. In North Carolina Wednesday, a possible shark attack.
26-year-old male bit by a shark.
Sean Barton bitten on the leg, frantically telling his niece to get out of the water.
I felt something bite down on calf, shin region. Immediately I thought, I think I just got bit by a shark. And I think I should probably get out of the water.
He needed nearly a dozen stitches. In Rhode Island, this giant of the deep, a massive 20-foot-long basking shark. That telltale dorsal fin spotted near boaters on Block Island over the holiday weekend. And this close call in Panama City Beach, Florida.
You're fine, it's right here.
A black tip shark darting just feet from a woman waiting in the water. Experts tonight with this advice if you spot a shark nearby.
The best thing to do to just quietly get out of the water. You don't want to splash and panic and try to attract the shark accidentally. Remember, these are wild animals.
And David, while these shark encounters are extremely rare, scientists say climate change is changing where some swim and how they hunt. David?
Morgan Norwood with us tonight. Morgan, thank you. In New York City tonight, 2 NYPD detectives have been placed on modified duty. Authorities claim they had a prior connection to the alleged Manhattan crypto torture townhouse. Sources telling ABC News tonight one of the detectives working off duty allegedly drove the victim in this case to the townhouse where he told police he was tortured for weeks by 2 crypto executives. Authorities say a second detective was being paid by one of the suspects for off-duty security. NYPD officials say neither officer had knowledge of any alleged illegal or inappropriate behavior. When we come back tonight, the dramatic testimony in the Sean Diddy Combs trial, the new claim tonight, what a new witness is now saying. Also tonight here, the actor who brought one of the most terrifying characters to life is being remembered tonight. And then the surprising reveal from Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. Even they were surprised. Tonight, hear the dramatic testimony at the trial of Sean Diddy Combs here in New York, a former personal assistant using the pseudonym Mia, testifying Combs raped and sexually assaulted her multiple times. Mia telling the court she absolutely did not want to talk about the alleged assaults, but telling the jury she has to, quote, tell the truth and that she has a, quote, moral obligation because when you're scared into silence, these things continue to happen to others, she said. Her testimony resumes tomorrow. Combs has denied he assaulted anyone. Tonight, 2 major airlines now joining forces in a key way. United and JetBlue teaming up for what they're calling the Blue Sky program. Under the partnership, the carriers will start selling seats on each other's flights. Passengers who use loyalty programs can use their miles and other benefits on both United and JetBlue flights. Blue Sky, they're calling it, launches this fall. When we come back, the surprise from Eddie Murphy. They became in-laws together, he and another comedian, and Beyonce tonight, and this very big gender reveal in a moment. To the Index tonight, 2 comedy legends have become in-laws. Eddie Murphy's son Eric and Martin Lawrence's daughter Jasmine are now married. Eddie Murphy breaking the news on the Jennifer Hudson show, sharing the 2 skipped having a big wedding and quietly tied the knot 2 weeks ago. So Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence are now in-laws tonight, and congratulations to their kids. Beyonce pulling off a gender reveal for one lucky fan. The singer spotted the fan sign, asking her to help with the reveal during her Cowboy Carter stop at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Beyonce on stage, opening an envelope, the audience anxiously waiting to see if it was a boy or a girl. The letter inside revealing the word cowboy. Tonight, tributes are pouring in for actor Ed Gale, the actor and stuntman best known for scaring generations as the possessed doll Chucky. Gale played the character in the original film in 1988 and later in several sequels, including Bride of Chucky. His niece, in announcing his passing, said he had appeared in more than 130 films and TV shows since arriving in California at the age of 20 and with $41 and a dream. Ed Gale was 61. When we come back tonight, America Strong, the serviceman reunited with his 4-legged partner and the surprise in the backyard. Finally tonight, America Strong, the Army specialist and the dog. So many missions together, and now the most important mission, to reunite them. Tonight here, the unbreakable bond between a U.S. Armed Forces serviceman and his elite bomb-sniffing dog. U.S. Army specialist Cameron Markert and 6-year-old German Shepherd Attila had been inseparable for 5 years, traveling the world together on missions, completing nearly 24 security missions. Specialist Markert was reassigned to a new base, and Attila began having health setbacks, forcing the dog to retire early. The two no longer working together. Specialist Markert, of course, missing his partner, hoping one day for a reunion. The American Humane Society learned about this and offered to help make it happen. Helping Specialist Markert adopt Attila, flying the dog to his former partner, and paying for Attila's veterinary care for the rest of his life, all through generous donations. And tonight, Attila and Army Specialist Markert finally reunited.
My boy.
And right here tonight,
Hi David, this is Attila.
Specialist Markert and his partner, Attila.
Getting reunited with him is pretty amazing. Words don't really describe how great it feels to have him home with us.
And it turns out the German Shepherd not just gaining the specialist back, but the whole family. Mom and the children in the backyard is forever home.
He got me through a lot of really, really hard times, so I'm thankful that he's here now.
Right where he belongs. We thank you both for your service. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.